to the Global Studies Lecture Series. I'm Professor Suzette Scotti, and I teach art history here at Leeward Community College. In this series, we invite guests to share their experiences and insights from countries and regions all around the world. The Global Studies program explores how culture, history, and lived experience shape our understanding of the world and our place in it, encouraging curiosity, reflection, and a broader global perspective. Through a variety of courses that emphasize international and multicultural viewpoints, students can earn an academic subject certificate in global studies. Our program builds global awareness, strengthens communication and critical thinking skills, and prepares students to thrive in today's interconnected world. If you'd like to learn more, feel free to contact me at sdscotti@hawaii.edu or my colleague, Dr. Kareem Khan, at khana@hawaii.edu. Today, I'm sitting down with Apryl Binuya, a Hawaii-based pilot and traveler who previously joined the Global Studies Lecture Series to share her remarkable life journey and the role travel has played in shaping it. Apryl Binuya is an airline pilot, scuba instructor, 100-ton master boat captain, and aspiring artist. Working internationally on ships started her love of travel. Since starting to work on ships in 2004, she has traveled to about 40 countries. Her very first flight was in 2004 to Hawaii, while the most recent was returning home from Tanzania this past December. She is currently a student at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, pursuing a BA in studio art. In today's talk, she will share stories from her most recent adventures traveling through Egypt, Rwanda, and Tanzania, and will also tell us a bit about her involvement in a hot air balloon expedition across parts of Africa. Apryl, welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us again.
Thank you. Well, basically you're just going to look at my slides. Be like a home slideshow, and I'll tell you about my trip. I like to start usually a trip with a layover in another country who I have not visited before. So on this one, we'll start in Egypt because that's where I took my layover. So I had 18 hours. I wanted to see the pyramids, and I'd actually gone Hawaii to Japan. I left Japan and headed over to Egypt, so we'll start there. And luckily we have Professor Scotti here to fill in the details of what I was looking at. So after a very long flight from from Japan to Egypt, I had about 18 hours. I'd made reservations with just a driver to take me to my hotel. The flight landed at 3 a.m. I went through the visa process, no problem. I found my driver waiting for me 3 a.m. and he drove me to my hotel, which was about an hour from the airport. But when we got to the hotel area, the hotel was not there. It was a bit of a scam. So
oh, no.
After an hour of driving, I then, we looked for the hotel. The driver was like, it's not here. We weren't in a great neighborhood. He didn't feel comfortable leaving me at this point about 4:30 in the morning in the neighborhood. So I just asked him, will you just take me back to the airport? So he took me back to the airport, but he wanted to leave me somewhere safe. So he left me in like the local terminal. But at this point I was going on an expedition with the total number of people was 16 people, but we would be in Africa for about a month. And just for supplies, I was the one person carrying most of the supplies for everyone. So I had 2 large luggages. And I had managed to find a cart, but there was no taxis. It was a local terminal. No one needed it. So I finally found my way to the other terminal, to the international terminal, to find a taxi. So my goal was to get myself to meet a tour group at 8 a.m. and we were going to go see the pyramids. Mm-hmm. So I was supposed to have been picked up at my hotel, and they said they couldn't pick me up at the airport. It was an hour away. So I was determined I was going to see the pyramids, so I was going to find my own taxi to meet up with the group at the pyramids.
It's not every day you're in Cairo, right?
So I'm here, I'm going to see these pyramids. So the first person that said, "Do you want a taxi?" I said, "Yes, absolutely." So he takes my luggage and he goes around the corner, and this is the vehicle we land in. If you look closely, you can see like it was kind of like a bolted-on dash. Later to find out it was propane. It was a propane vehicle, and the driving is about like it's 4 lanes suggestive, and they all drive very, very fast and very close. And we were in a bit of a slow-moving vehicle. After some time with communications about, apparently they've redone the gates for the pyramids. So some old gates and new gates, and the tour operator and him eventually were able to meet up, and I got to my tour group. So it was quite the adventure.
You worked hard to get there, though.
Yeah. But I made it on time. And there I am.
Wow.
After I left it in my travel clothes, I think I was about 36 hours awake, but I made it.
It must have felt like you were dreaming standing there.
Yeah, it was pretty. I called my kids actually on FaceTime, and they said, "Are you calling us from the pyramids?" I said, "Yes, you need to see it too."
Or is
So,
that just a background, right, that you
right?
created?
They're like, "It looks like you've got a screensaver behind you." So,
Wow.
yeah.
What was your first impression of the pyramids?
Oh, it was pretty neat. It was, like you said, kind of surreal. Like, oh, I can't believe I'm actually here. It was neat the distance, to see them all in the distance together like that was pretty neat. So
With camels and everything.
camels and everything, right? And here's some pretty neat imaging. And the tour guide says, he said to us, "You can go inside the pyramid if you want. Everybody goes inside the pyramid. They want to see the inside." But he's like, "Trust me, don't do that. Come with me." And so me and I think 3 out of the 8 of us went with the tour guide, and the others went into the pyramid. So he takes us to what is a tomb, actually, further off site, and takes us to this gate. And there's someone there who opens the gate, and inside we see the tomb of Queen Mary. How would you say Marisanka?
Marisanka III.
The third.
Ah.
So inside, the painting is still visible. It was beautiful. So you weren't. We needed to protect it, so he wasn't able to take a lot of pictures. But inside was still. You could still see the colorful painting on the inside. Very short, shallow ceilings, as you can see there from the height, and some cool carvings in there. So.
And you had it practically all to yourselves. Usually, there must be hundreds of people inside the pyramid. So
right,
this
yeah,
is
there's
a very
just 3
special.
of us in there. It was really neat. Then he had us go further, and basically to this tunnel, and we went down into the tunnel, and there's the sarcophagus. So there I am. I got to lay in a sarcophagus.
Oh, what a great picture.
So we crawled down to this tunnel.
Wow.
Here we are.
You even got the position of the hands right. You look like a real mummy.
Right. And we finished up the tour then with the Sphinx on the front. So
What an amazing picture. And you had perfect weather.
it was beautiful. Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
And the last part of the actual tour itself was the Grand Egyptian Museum. We only had about an hour and a half in there. I could have spent all day, but basically I zoomed through and took several pictures of neat things. So here's just a little taste, but if you go, you need a day for that location.
It's enormous.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's finally opened. It was delayed so many times, so you were
really?
lucky that you actually got to see it.
Yeah, it was recently opened.
Wow. These are all the things I teach about. Mummies, tombs. These are the treasures from King Tut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So
They
they're
were
all on
amazing.
display.
They were in glass, boxes, but yeah, you couldn't get too close to them.
Uh-huh.
But
these treasures, many of them have been boxed up since the 1920s when they were first discovered. That's why they wanted to build this museum, so they would have space to show them all.
Yeah. I really loved this one.
It's magnificent.
That's right.
Looks like it was made yesterday, doesn't it?
Right. And my trip was over. In Egypt, my 18 hours were up, and my flight was then down to Rwanda into Kigali International Airport. I met with our drivers. There was a group. We were broken into basically 3 legs, and they arrived. They had already done Kenya, Uganda, and arrived in Rwanda with the first group of 6 people. And the goal of the whole entire expedition was hot air ballooning in these countries. So these are our drivers.
I'm eager to hear more about the hot air ballooning. I know it's coming.
And there we are. There's some of my mates there. Scotty there is from Hawaii as well. And then we have someone from mainland and one of my friends from Britain.
Did you know Scotty already? Or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Scotty and I both spent time in Guam. So we've known each other for a lot of years. We stocked up on supplies. This was basically what we had available to us for stocking up on supplies. So these would be, you can see like you can pretty much get a little bit of anything. There's like shampoo, there's snacks, there's, so very small mom and pop kind of stores. When we made arrangements, we specifically made breakfast and dinner arrangements at our hotel. So when we went hotel to hotel, just for being able to ensure that we had food available and to ensure that we were encouraged to do that just for being able to acclimate ourselves to the food so that we didn't get food poisoning, because there isn't any medical services in a lot of places. So we chose to go that route for food. But
and what's the food like there? What do they eat?
We had some food that was local. Most of the time they catered it to our taste against my will, but I wasn't going to complain about what they cooked me. So a lot of times they just catered it to be what they thought we would like to eat. So it was all good, very good. Here's some of the really neat fabrics. And the women were beautifully dressed. I really liked this one, high heel pattern for one of her dresses. But they all had kind of it looked almost like a competition to see who could have the most unique patterns or fabrics.
They're beautiful, bright colors.
And then if you can see the bottom there, the style is to leave on kind of the printing edge at the very bottom of her skirt. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the style, is to leave that on there. Yeah, pretty neat.
I bet people go there and buy fabric too and then just have things made.
My hoarding tendency was to buy all of it, but I did not. I kept myself. We were very limited on weight because of being able to fit everything into the vehicle as well. So we carried the balloon in the back of one of the Land Cruisers. So the balloon went with us. So that very much limited everyone to a backpack.
Not much space for souvenirs.
Yeah, no. We kind of had a challenge to see the most interesting thing that someone was carrying, and this one was a top contender.
What is
it's
that?
It's like a baby walker where you put a baby in it and it walks around, I think. But here's our Land Cruiser, one of them. We had 2 of them. This is in town there on our way out. This is milk. They still have milk in canisters like this, and then they will bottle it individually at the small stores, or you can, I'm sure, bring your own bottle. These are hireable taxis, these mopeds. You can see like the vest he's wearing. I wondered who paid for that baby's taxi ride.
I'm glad to see that little baby has a helmet on.
Yeah,
that's good.
So, yeah, anything and everyone can go.
Wow.
There's Jumbo. It's like hello, or.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Carrying
look at
a
all
lot
those
of
boxes.
things. Yeah, this is the market. So we drove through the market. It's very busy. So like the mom and pop stores will go to this location to get their supplies. And we headed up to the mountains. We were headed out of Kigali up into the Volcanoes National Parks to go see the gorillas in person, in their natural environment. So, but Rwanda is very much like Hawaii. So the terrain is almost identical. The mountains are very, very similar. and we were driving up into the mountains. The gorillas are gorilla mountains, mountain gorillas, there we go. Mountain gorillas, and they're up in the mountains. So riding your bike uphill, I'm sure was very tiresome. So they caught a ride. And they caught a ride on our Jeep too, on our Land Cruiser.
It does look very lush and green there. I was thinking it kind of resembles Hawaii.
Yeah, it's almost I would say a sister city to Hawaii. It's very nice, yeah. You can see the terrain. And the mode of transportation is usually bikes carrying any and everything. They had some, I don't know quite the regulation or the law, but basically the bicycle itself was the means of transportation. So you can't put goods on a moped. Mopeds were only for people, I think, as a way to keep it quiet. So you could use a bicycle to transport things, but you could not transport them on mopeds.
You have to have good balancing skills like that man with all the boxes on his head.
Some people's, the day's operation was getting water for the family.
So there's no running water?
I'm sure some places have it, but a lot of places don't. And that is their goal for the day, is to get water. As the driver said, also firewood. You'll see pictures of firewood. And he said if you don't have your firewood, you don't eat that day, right? Or you're eating something cold or uncooked. So your day's activities are often finding firewood or water. And that's not, of course, for everyone, but for some.
So you could stop and buy water if you needed to?
We stocked up on water when we could. And that was a continual job to make sure that we had enough water for everyone. And also, as you'll see later, we needed to contend for vehicle breakdowns or being out in the middle of somewhere with no place to buy water. So.
Is there Wi-Fi there? If you do break down, how do you contact somebody to come and save you? Or do you save yourself?
Well, our drivers were from Uganda and Kenya, and so they didn't have SIM cards. So they were using. I had some cell service. But there wasn't anyone coming to save us. So we needed to not be saved. Yeah. There might be a town up the road, but most of the time we made it city to city. In Rwanda, though, there's plenty of resources in the city available. When we got further out into Tanzania, it was a little bit more isolated. So. But as you can see, people are taking their bananas to the market to be sold. Small kids coming home from school, they come home for lunch, and then they'll go back to school. So they walk to school, go home for lunch, come back home, back to school again, and walk back home. And they all had uniforms. This will be a uniform. And we made it to Volcanoes National Park. It's about 2.5 hours from Kigali. Yep. And so it was set up kind of in reaction to Dian Fossey, who started mountain gorilla conservation. And the ideas, she was battling against poachers. And poaching there's much more details to this and much more accurate things you can look up. But the general idea is that poaching was a way that people fed their families.
So they would eat the gorilla meat?
They would sell they were hired to poach them. Yeah. So catch them or poach them or various things, not necessarily for hunting but for selling. So they would feed their families. So taking that away is not necessarily an answer, right? So what the foundation did was then hire that family to become scouts. So they opened it up for people to visit the gorillas in their natural environment, and the people that would have been poachers then became scouts to find them.
Oh, very smart, right. So this way they could still earn a living, and their families wouldn't starve, but they wouldn't be killing the gorillas.
Right. So that's how Volcanoes National Park came to be. And then the mountain range that divides Uganda and Rwanda, that mountain range is where the mountain gorillas are. So Uganda also has mountain gorillas as well.
And didn't they make a movie about her, right? Gorillas in the Mist.
Gorillas in the Mist.
Yeah.
And we'll go up and I'll show you that we went and visited her grave. In the end, the poachers, it was such a political event that she was killed by poachers. But her legacy lives on, and the park is now protecting the gorillas and employing the people around it. So it is gone on in her legacy. These are our guides. They will have scouts that will have gone already out and looked for the gorillas. So early in the morning, they go out and look for the families. The families are only visited once every 2 weeks. So each group is identified. They know their names. They know them as family themselves. I could show them a picture and they'll tell me which one it is.
It's amazing that they can recognize them.
And they recognize them by their nose print. So it's like a thumbprint. They know which one it is. So they really do protect them. It's one family is visited by about 8 people every 2 weeks.
So they give them a break in between.
Yeah. So they're not turned into a commodity again, right? So, but at the same time, able to conserve them. So they send the scouts out. They'll find them some high, some low, and they'll kind of decide which group to visit based on the group of humans that are visiting, and their basically athletic ability, because it's a hike. It could be anywhere from 1 hour to 8 hours
Oh, wow.
to find them, depending on how high the gorillas are. So we luckily were just 1 hour, so we found. And here we are on our way up the mountain.
Were you afraid?
A little bit.
But you're with good guides who know what they're doing, right? So, oh, sweet.
Hi. Have a good day.
They gave you a nice greeting.
Right? So cute. This, on the way up, we saw these flowers. This is what they use for insecticide.
Oh.
So you see these flowers growing everywhere. It's a natural insecticide. And on the way up, they're farming. So this is farming land. And this is also something that they're growing and farming.
What do they grow?
Potatoes. These are potato farmers. You'll see bananas, potatoes. A lot of the fruit that we see in Hawaii is the same. We don't grow potatoes much here, but they were growing potatoes. Small. And then
Working
in the
hard.
field,
Wow.
yeah.
Back-breaking work.
Yeah.
We buy our potatoes in the supermarket.
Right. And so you see, like, the landscape is very much like Hawaii, right? The lava rock.
Very much.
They're farming in lava rock, so
Wow.
it is hard work. Yeah. And you see, this is what we hiked through to find the gorillas. So there was no kind of sidewalk that we're walking up. We're hiking into the jungle. So
They don't have paths already laid out for you.
Luckily.
You have to carve your own. Yeah.
we want to make the gorillas have their own paths. Yeah. So we found a group, and these are babies. You'll see they were as babies are. They were like toddlers, just running around and playing.
That one is swinging from the tree.
Yeah,
He looks like he's
swinging.
having fun.
Swinging. Yep.
Ah.
I got a good picture. I really like this picture.
Oh, that's
And they could-
amazing. He's looking right at the camera.
Yeah, I like portrait photography, so it turned out that I was doing a portrait of a girl that worked out as well.
Were you that close to him, or did you zoom
We
in?
were within 2 feet. Yeah, I didn't stick my camera in his face. I have a zoom, but when they got close to us, we were within 2 feet. And at one point, you'll see the silverback brushed by me.
The silverback is the male,
The dominant male of the pack, or the group, family, I guess.
and they're
would be family.
gigantic, right?
Very gigantic, yeah. and they were just like, step out of their way. Don't, that was, and they gave us a guidance about how to behave around them. Don't run, don't get startled. Just if they want to come through, you just make sure that they have space to move through.
So they know you're not invading their territory or
Right.
threatening them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is just an incredible shot.
Thanks.
That should be on the cover of National Geographic. I tell you, that's going to
Well,
be your
if
next
they want
career.
it. The little feet, so cute. It was one of the baby's feet.
They're so human. It's unbelievable.
Right? Isn't it? It looks just like a baby's hand/foot, right? And there's mama and a baby. So that picture was the mama and the baby.
Eating bamboo, it looks like.
They do. They like bamboo. Yep. And Dian Fossey was able to get them to come close to her by planting bamboo near her. And that's how she was able to get them to come close.
And
She
to-
figured out
I
that
see.
they like bamboo.
And to win their trust.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. That is so sweet with the little baby looking up at his mama.
Right? When the little baby goes to play, he turns a little bit louder.
Yeah.
There's a silverback. That's the one that brushed by me. And I will admit, I went into like a fetal hugging of the person next to me when he got pretty close to me, because he's very big.
So you got down like on the ground and
No,
hunched over?
I just hugged the person next to me. We was just like
For dear life.
I was a little bit nervous when he was coming at me, so we just stepped out of his way, and he was fine. But it is, it is a silverback gorilla headed your way. So
It gives you all the more respect for Dian
Right.
Fossey, right?
yes.
Wow.
But they were beautiful. It was an amazing experience. Yeah.
Beautiful pictures. Oh, he's thinking. Look at him thinking.
And then lastly, there's a museum there as well, the Dian Fossey Museum. And it goes back through the history of her explorations and the foundation. And so there's just some handprints and footprints and a lot of information there.
And you got to visit the museum?
We visit, from the museum. And then the next day we hiked up to Dian Fossey's grave site. She was buried up on her camp with all, they had killed the poachers had killed one of her favorite gorillas named Digit. So she was buried with Digit, and they proceeded to continue on. Any gorilla that had died, they buried them in the special gorilla grave site, and then she's at the end of it.
I think I remember that from the movie. I remember
Yeah.
Digit.
Yeah. Digit, yeah. And I think she had kind of been around him since he was a baby. So that was pretty devastating, I think, to her.
Yeah.
But
So this is sort of like a pilgrimage site. People come there to
pilgrimage
see her
site to
grave.
her, yeah. In the museum was a kind of a replication of her things and her cabin. And I just thought it was so neat. She had Out of Africa
Of course.
in her book collection.
That's
Of course,
great.
right?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Which is my favorite movie ever since I was a child. I grew up in the 80s, right? So I was born in 77. It came out in 85. And so Out of Africa has always been one of my very favorite movies.
I love that movie too.
Yeah,
I love the
yeah.
music from it.
Yep.
I love the story. I love everything about
Yeah, me as well. So I was like, oh, she did too. So she had this site, and she had these cabins. They were basically maybe what we would consider like wooden tin cabins here with like wood panel walls and tin roofs. But she had them spread out through the campsite, so they weren't really together in a compound. They were pretty far away from each other. She would have visitors up there, and they could stay in the cabins. That unfortunately was part of the demise, because when the poachers did come for her, there wasn't anyone that could hear her because they were far from each other. So.
Oh, what beautiful landscape. Gorgeous there.
Thanks.
When I think of Rwanda, I don't think of the beautiful landscape. I think of
Yes.
the terrible genocide and,
Yes,
but this
yeah.
is a whole different perspective on the country.
It was very poignant there. There's a lot of genocide memorials there. Yeah. So after that, we went to a place called Gorilla Guardians, which is also the same system of employment as opposed to poaching. And these families then set up what would be kind of maybe more like a luau, as we would have in Hawaii, kind of a demonstration of some of their culture and things they do. So
They look very welcoming.
very welcoming. Yeah, this is kind of a tourist center, demonstration of their cultures. We did a mock wedding. There's the bride. I was chosen then as the matriarch, so here I am. And there.
Oh, you got to participate.
Yeah. Here's a medicine man. Talked about the local medicine. The bride was dressed in some local attire by this beautiful lady here.
So interesting.
This was a very, very, very neat moment and part of I'll always remember this trip. This man played some music. I'm going to play it for you. Let's see if I show it. There we go. There he is in his attire. I'm not sure how much of it is for kind of like, for us, the attire is for us, or if that's what you actually would wear on a daily basis. Sometimes, tourism will bring out some bright colors where you might not have actually worn on a daily basis. But it was a nice welcoming event.
Nice moment. He played very well.
So we went on from Kigali. We drove about a day over to Chato. And this is, now we're getting into more of an isolated area. Heading over, we crossed over in Kigali at Rusumo Bay into Tanzania. So we're getting to kind of be out into the countryside of Tanzania.
That's a long trip. How were the roads?
Very bumpy. Yeah, it was. There were not smooth roads after we left Rwanda. Rwanda has very clean paved roads, and to Tanzania it was more dirt roads. You can't drive at night because of the large holes in the road. You can't see them. Here's the roads.
Oh, wow.
Basically, you can't see the holes at night, and there's no lighting. So if you hit one of those, you will break the axle of your car, and there's no repairs. So after sundown, we don't drive. More isolated countryside.
Everybody
Hawaiian
rides
music
bicycles. That's really
music.
Look at the buffalo. Wow, amazing. This is like something out of Africa. It reminds me of the terrain.
Yeah. We went. I think this is like kind of a crossing station, a way station or something. So give you an idea. This was the smooth road, so it gives you an idea of the paved. It's still pretty bumpy, but. This is a bit more as we're moving into population into Chato. And from Chato, we went on to Mwanza. And that was another day's drive, about 10 hours. When you look on the map, it's going to say 7, but with road conditions, it tends to be longer. This was the doctor in Mwanza. So the medicine man had local herbs and things to fix ailments. So
Plant-based remedies, right?
Yep,
Natural medicine.
right.
We pay a lot of money here for that, but
He had a whole stash there.
wow.
Mwanza was on the beach, like a beach town. So we went on a boat,
That's
did a little
lovely.
sunset tour.
Lovely.
So we had the boat to ourselves, which is nice. We just went for a nice sunset.
Nice and
sail.
relaxing after the road,
Yep.
right? The road trip.
We had another day's drive into the Serengeti from there.
You're the only ones out there.
Yeah, yeah. Not all was always well with the vehicles. Because the roads were so bad, we lost a bumper. So here is Peter, our driver, and Scotty putting the bumper into the back of the Land Cruiser. Just pick up your piece and carry it with you.
It's only a bumper. Who needs that?
Didn't need it. After one of the roads, we had gone all uphill, and so we were starting to lose some fluids. So we did break down a couple of times. Most amazing thing is that it would work out that we were near our hotel, and they would have it fixed the next morning. It was amazing.
Wow.
I don't know how they did it.
How did they get the parts?
They would find someone local, and they would go get it fixed overnight.
Amazing. Luckily,
yeah.
you were near your hotel.
Yep. So we would make it to our hotel. I'm sure that there are other tour companies. I'm not saying that this would be the situation. The vehicle that we took needed to be able to go across all these countries. So we specifically had these vehicles that could go across, not countries. Well, they're like the borders. Let's call them borders, right? So each. A lot of the borders wouldn't allow other vehicles to come through. So this one, we were able to get all the countries that we needed. So we were a bit limited, but there are some very, very beautiful Land Cruisers there that are meant for tour operations. We weren't doing a tour operate, we were doing an expedition. So our vehicle was
luxury.
a bit more,
Yeah.
more
Where would you
rough
stop, though, for gas? Would they have gas stations
So
along the way?
they have dual tanks in them. So we would plan out our fuel to make sure that we had enough fuel to get to the next spot. So they could go about 350 50 to 400 miles before we needed fuel.
Wow. So you have to hope that you don't get lost, because otherwise you're not going to have enough fuel.
Right.
Now,
Time distance fuel calculations came in handy, yeah.
Yeah, right. Well,
The
you
other
would
thing-
know that as a
right.
pilot, right?
The other thing that came to be a problem was that additionally we had to have cash sometimes. And finding a gas station that would take a card, because we couldn't carry that much cash with us. It wouldn't have been smart or safe. So we kept a card with us, but finding a gas station that could take a card was also sometimes a challenge. So sometimes we were getting close. And we made it to the Serengeti.
Wow.
Here we are.
Pure joy.
Right. At this point, I think we traveled maybe 4 or 5 days, I think so. And the funniest thing is as we get in, we see zebras, and we were all so excited. We're like, zebras! What they didn't, our tour guides were so sweet. Of course, we became friends with them after weeks together. They were so sweet. They did not tell us the whole entire Serengeti has millions of zebras, and there will be another pack of them right around the corner in 5 minutes. But he's like, well, I didn't want to ruin your first zebras. So
It's nice to be
Right.
greeted by zebras too, rather than lions, right?
It's baby zebra. They're little brown. They're brown when they're babies.
Oh,
yeah. Some giraffes.
the giraffe.
Yeah.
This is amazing. This is like driving through a zoo, only there are no cages. They're just walking around
Yep.
loose.
The elephants, I really loved the elephants. They were far off, so we parked, and it looked like they were coming to us, so we just waited. I loved the elephants. There's a baby elephant.
Sweet.
This is a bull elephant, and I love the elephant so much that when the driver started to drive away because the bull elephant was getting close, I was like, no, don't go. And so he didn't. But he knew better than I that bull elephant was not going to be happy with us hanging out too long. So this bull elephant did charge us a bit, but our drivers luckily were ready to go.
And you took this picture?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
This is him not being too happy. As you'll see, the grass is little.
He looks like he's about to paw the
Yeah,
charge.
he was on his way. He kind of was kicking up some grass coming towards us.
They can probably smell you too, right, from a long way off.
Well, they can
so-
see us, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
So in the Serengeti, we stayed in tents. These were luxury tents. They were very beautiful. We didn't get to spend much time in them because we were on the road for so long. But in the night, they said to me specifically, your tent is going to have the lions walk by it at about 1 o'clock in the morning. They walk by every morning. So
my
I
God.
set up camp. So we've been on the road for like 10 hours, but I was refusing to go to sleep because once in my life, lions going to walk outside my tent, right? And so, we could hear them calling and roaring and just making sounds. So I stayed up all night waiting for the lions to come by.
I would not have been able to
Yeah.
sleep. I would have been so scared.
And this is up on like a platform. You can see it's kind of a platform, so the lions don't come back up there apparently, but you're not permitted to leave your tent. So if you needed to go anywhere, you needed to leave your tent. You needed to call with the phone that they had there, and the Messiah would come out and walk you. So I don't know that they're protecting you from the lions, but they know the lions better than we do, obviously, and will keep you as safe as possible. There's no instance of them coming through the tents or anything, but they were very adamant, don't leave your door open and do not leave your tent.
So they know the lions' habits. They know when they're going to walk and where they're going to go.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
So no lions that I saw. I stayed up all night, and no lions came to see me.
Oh.
The next morning, they were, however, right under the car like a cat, like all the cats, hide under the car. Next morning, there they were underneath the car. Just
Looking
sitting.
harmless.
Yeah, harmless.
Now, those tents, were they already set up, or did you have to set them up once you
No, they're set up,
you
and they're
made
wood
camp?
structures. They're just
Okay.
kind of canvas, and they have like these screens that are kind of, like regular screens.
They're
So
very nice. They look quite luxurious inside.
Yeah, they were luxury tents. They're really nice, and we had originally just thought about camping like with our own tents with lion fences. I'm very grateful we decided against that.
Oh, yeah. They
After
seem
more
a bit
research.
sturdier, yeah.
Yeah. The next morning was our hot air balloon ride over the Serengeti. So we wake up in the dark. So I had a bit of a mumbling crew, and they were so tired. But, once in a lifetime opportunities, we're going to go. So as the sun rises, they start setting up the balloon. You'll see here they serve you morning coffee in the dark. They have this coffee they put ginger in. It's so good. It's just coffee and they boil ginger root with it.
Oh.
It's delicious.
Gives you an extra zing in
Yeah,
the
it's
morning.
really
Help you
really
wake
great.
up.
So a little morning coffee while they get the balloon ready.
These
and
are
then,
stunning.
thanks. Then as the sun rises, you take your hot air balloon ride over the Serengeti. Those are hippos down at the very low. You see that cloud? That's just a hippo.
Yes.
Yeah, hippos at the very bottom.
Mm.
There I am. They're setting. We haven't taken off yet, but they're setting up the balloons. There's 2 of them.
This is just an incredible adventure.
Yeah,
Do you want to say a
yes.
word about the lady who organized this balloon trip? What her goal was?
Yeah, her goal was to fly a hot air balloon in more than 127 countries. So yeah, she was or is breaking the world record in number of places the hot air balloon is flown.
That is an original goal, I must admit.
Yeah.
And you were the crew.
Yes, and her balloon is just a one. She's like a 1-passenger balloon. It's her personal balloon with like a harness, so that the crew had an experience of being in a hot air balloon. We went on a commercial balloon right over the Serengeti.
So you had the basket. She just had a harness that she was dangling from. Wow.
And then you see like the dust there. That is those are the vehicles that brought us. They're catching up to where we're going to land to pick us up.
There's nothing there. It's just wilderness.
Yep.
And animals.
Animals, yeah. It's their home, the animals.
I cannot imagine the sensation that must have been for you to be looking out over that balloon down on that gorgeous
Very
countryside.
quiet. These are elephants to give you an idea of the height. So look how small the elephants look.
Wow, tiny. How many feet up would you say that you were?
I think we're anywhere from between 500 and 1,000 feet.
Could you feel a change in the oxygen or not?
No, not that level. It's a little colder, so you'll see I'm wearing like a hat and long sleeves. It's cold, but it's very peaceful. It's very quiet, other than the sound of the gas and burning and going into the balloon. So you'll hear like just fuel burning, but mostly a small chatter, mostly peace and quiet.
It's like time stands still in a place like that, right? You would not know what century it was because nothing's changed. Oh.
And there I am taking a zillion pictures.
You in action.
There we are.
Fantastic.
So it was more other people as well. So this was a commercial tour op. So there were other people other than the crew in there as well. There they are packing the balloon up after we landed. This is how they'll pack the balloon. And they basically kind of fold it into a long line and then they roll it up.
And then how do they inflate it?
When they inflate it, they inflate it, start it on its side, and then they basically fill it with hot air, right? And so the hot air is going to rise inside the balloon and it's going to pull the balloon up to be standing, right? And when you get in the balloon, they keep it tethered down, right? When you get in the balloon, you are actually laying on your back. You get in the balloon on its side.
Oh.
You don't climb over the edge, right? Because there's no door.
Oh,
so
I see.
You lay on its side. They let the balloon go, and it will go up. And then there's people holding the tethers, and they let the tethers go, and the balloon rises. And then to turn the balloon, you give it more. Kind of more gas on one side, and that's going to push, kind of directing left or right by going in a circle. If you imagine going left or right by going in a circle, in the direction that you're pushing the gas, that's going to turn you.
So that's how you steer.
Right.
Yeah.
And then as far as like up or down, it just depends on how much heat is in the balloon. So if you want to land, you let the hot air out. To assure the top. I'm not a balloon pilot, though, so that's all I know. There is a champagne toast after a champagne and a champagne breakfast, bush breakfast. It was amazing food, but I love this kind of antique case with the traditional balloon champagne toast box.
It looks like something from the 1930s.
Right.
Yeah. Oh.
It's our breakfast.
Oh my gosh.
It was beautiful. It was delicious.
What a place to eat.
Right.
The best view in the whole wide world.
Right. There we are
Oh,
with our
wow.
champagne breakfast.
You were a pretty big group. Let me count here. 3, there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were all in the balloon. Yeah,
It's
it
a
can fit
16
quite a few
passenger
people.
balloon. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's the biggest of the balloons, is about 16 to 20 passengers. So that would be like a 787. That would be a huge, it's a big balloon. Yeah.
Wow.
And there are the lions.
There they are.
So they treated us at the end because we didn't get to see lions, or, apparently they know where the lions are. So they took us over to the lions so we could take some pictures.
And they seem pretty unfazed by all
Yeah,
of you, really,
they
like they've
were.
seen it all before.
Yeah. There's
Oh,
a baby.
little baby in the tree. That does look like a cat.
Yeah. So we went, after that, from Serengeti, we drove down to Lake Eyasi, and there's a tribe there named the Hadzabe tribe. And they are a tribe that has not adopted any modern culture as much as possible. And they are, they still hunt and gather for their, to eat, basically to hunt and gather in their area. These are the Maasai. It's a different tribe. They're more of a nomadic tribe. We were actually just met them on the side of the road at a stop. So we stopped in and said hi, talked to them a bit, showed them how to do shaka.
That's universal language.
We got cut off. This is how we got cut off by just a cart getting his water. So as we were on our way to the Lake Eyasi, to the Hadzabe tribe, it's a drive out into the desert. And so he was just going to take the right of way because it was his space. So, but it was entertaining. It was like, we got cut off in the desert. And there's Lake Eyasi tourism program. So the way this works as well is an effort in conservation of the Hadzabe tribe's culture and their land. And they have made an agreement with the Tanzanian government to be able to keep their land. They're nomadic, so their land is a large space they would like to remain nomads on, right? So in an effort to educate and to conserve, once a month a group will come to visit, and they will teach them about their culture and hunting, how they hunt. They give us the option of gathering with the women or hunting. I personally picked gathering with the women, and in the end, most people decided that they wanted to do gathering because they will hunt any and everything. It's not something that we're used to, right? But when we got there, that translation didn't happen, and we all went hunting.
Oh.
They were like, there wasn't much talk. It was pretty much come with us. And that basically come with us started with them running, and we had one, you'll see him in here, the translator who actually grew up in the area, who was like the ambassador, basically said, start following, and it basically started with us running through the desert, keeping up as best we could.
Hoping not to get left behind.
Yeah, and you'll see like there, the brush is spiny.
Yeah.
This is not hospitable land.
It looks kind of
It's not-
painful, like if you could
It
walk
is,
barefoot
yeah.
there, that's for sure.
I was wearing a hat. I kept getting my hat snagged. And losing my hat, had to go back for it. I wish I would have brought eye protection. So you see, like hunting in this is not what we think of hunting in Hawaii. This is hunting for small birds, insects,
Is that like a slingshot he's holding?
the bow and arrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's gathering though, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's their hunt with bow and arrow. And yeah, he's gathering there. They're starting a fire. They did catch a bird. And so you see when they catch a bird, it's like a pigeon or something very small.
Yeah.
And then they cook it and eat it right then. So they're not sitting down for large meals. They're hunting, cooking, eating, moving on. Their clothes are hides from animals. This is a baboon, I believe, and then other Western clothes. See here, this is one way they caught a bird. This is a song they were playing, or they were singing, and the translation basically is, "We caught a bird. We're so happy. We're grateful for the food we have." Is what they said it translates to.
So they're all going to get one bite.
And they offered the bite to us, actually. But I wasn't about to take the one bite they were going to get. So interestingly enough, the only thing they asked for was water. So I have my water bottle, and the smallest one here, in the one closest, just made a gesture, like, "Can I have some water?"
Aw.
So I gave him my water, and he drank it, and he didn't drink it all. He handed it back to me. And then later I said, "Do you want some more?" Or, like, give him my water.
Yeah.
And once again, there was one last sip left, and he did not take the last sip. He left it for me.
Wow.
So I gave him, they go to school. So then the guide said that we can, that he would use it to go to take water to school or bring water home. So he would use a container. So I gave him the container. But and then we gave him our clothes at the end, a lot of us. But I asked, so you'll see as we go along, I'll show you something, but so the fruit that they've got there, that's a fruit that they have, like, there's a seed inside and they eat the flesh off the seed, so that's part of the gathering. I'll show you more about just a little bit of the influence, and I asked about the influence on what we were doing there. I'll explain that a bit more. So this is a picture of the bow and arrow. They gave each of us a feather from the bird that they hunted, and then so that he's holding the feather, that's their bow and arrow. These are the arrows, handmade.
Wow.
And he's repairing his bow.
It takes so much skill to be able to live like that.
Yeah, yeah. So he's putting a feather in her hair.
Oh.
Yeah. Their hair is red from salt water.
Oh,
So the water that is the salt causes it to be more red.
And then the sun probably too, yeah. And where do they get the water? Is there an oasis there? Are there wells?
The women go out, and that's their day's job, is to get the water. Yeah. So they're hunting, gathering, and looking for water on 24/7 basis. The young ones are going to school. So here was an impressive feat. They knew where a beehive was, and they put a special thing in their, special herb in their mouth and in their throat, so that if the bee stings them while they're eating the bees in the honeycomb, it doesn't hurt them as bad. But they pulled the honey and the bees from this hole in the rocks and ate the honeycomb and the bees.
They just stuck their hand in with all the bees and everything and didn't worry about getting, well, they get stung, but
It
with the herbs.
it sounded like he was getting stung, but calories, the most efficient calories, right? So
Yeah.
if you want calories, that maybe is your option.
And honey is very nutritious.
Right?
Yeah.
So they say that they don't have the same ailments and sicknesses because they live off the land, and that they did appear very healthy. So
They're not being poisoned by pesticides. They don't have to
Right.
worry about buying
Yeah.
organic, right?
Yep,
It's all organic.
organic. Yeah, and so the young ones, they were probably about 15, maybe 8 to 15, 16 were hunting with us. And this is how they hunted. Just, it's not as if the hunting that we're used to, hiding. They would just scout a bird and shoot it with bow and arrow.
They must have an incredible aim. Wow.
They're nomads, and so their clothes are getting worn out really from their day-to-day activities and hunting like this. So We just donated what we had. We were able to donate with them. So, and the girl here in the red shirt, I gave her a couple pairs of my shoes, and she made a gesture. It was beautiful. She said, she made a gesture like you and I are together in the universe or with God together, and put it to her heart. It was very
that's
sweet.
beautiful.
Yeah. Along the road, we would just find, people taking things to their market. And there's a lot of people that are not from Hawaii or the area and had never tasted sugarcane before. So we stopped and asked this guy if he would sell us some sugarcane, and we had sugarcane on the side of the road. Here's an example of firewood. So that's, they're getting water and firewood, so for cooking.
The basics.
Yeah. We went then from Lake Eyasi into Arusha. Arusha is like a bigger city in Tanzania, close to the base of Kilimanjaro. And Kilimanjaro,
I love that.
yeah, Kilimanjaro is like Hawaii once again. It's a volcanic mountain terrain, a lot like ours. We went up into this is just a baby. They carried babies on their back, and then some beautiful fabrics. And you can see we kind of went on a hike, and not everybody, people from different parts of the world. So this was a new experience for them. So we went basically to what would be kind of our Manoa Falls.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah. And we could swim at the bottom. We swam at the bottom.
And it's so clean.
So
It's not
clean.
contaminated.
Yeah. So it was a nice hike into the mountains.
Did you need to watch out for snakes and things like that?
No, I don't think so. Well, they didn't tell us if we did.
You didn't see
Probably
any
not.
anyway.
Complete with, some graffiti. So some Tanzanian graffiti there. We saw mangoes on the side of the road, so our driver went to go get mangoes from this lady, and she's so cute.
I bet they tasted out of this world.
They were good. Yeah, they were different than our mangoes we're used to. Less sweet, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Then, as we do in Hawaii, we had coffee farmers, so we stopped to get some coffee at the coffee farmers, and they gave us a full tourist events, and so we got some singing and some involvement here in making our coffee.
Are they grinding up the beans?
Yeah, this
By
is the making.
hand?
Yeah, by hand. So we.
So they all take turns. It's hard work.
I got in there and I was dancing, and I ground the coffee as well, but I didn't want to. I'm too embarrassed of showing me dancing. So I got in there and I ground the coffee. Before we ground it, we roasted it. So this is how they roasted a small batch. When we say small batch in Hawaii, we usually mean much bigger than this, but this is literally small batch. So they would roast it. And then grind it for us.
Fresh coffee.
Yeah, and then we had coffee.
Does it taste better than what
It
you
tasted
buy
good.
here?
Yeah, I drink it black, and I have to put other things in it, but it was good. Yeah,
Good flavor.
right.
That's hard work to make it. We're lucky in Costco. We press the button and it grinds it up for
There
us.
was no
Imagine.
K-pods here, yeah. And then some of the crew went on to Kilimanjaro and hiked into Kilimanjaro. One person did summit Kilimanjaro. I went ahead and was not available to do that. At the time, there was some political unrest in Tanzania, so it cut our trip short. And it was advised that due to the civil unrest there, that we not continue on. So we had planned on doing Malawi and Zambia, but we weren't able to do those 2 legs due to unrest.
Right, they had a coup, I remember,
They
a few
had a coup,
months
yeah.
ago.
So. And we said goodbye to our crew. Sante sana. Yes, thank you very much. And there's a quote that I couldn't quite put into words, but it was similar to learning peace on this world by learning and understanding other people and other cultures. And that's a method and a way for us to have peace through understanding and learning and appreciation for other people.
That's the
culture.
message of the United Nations. That could be the poster for the UN, really.
So, any questions?
I have to say this is the most I feel like I just went on a tour through Africa. What advice would you give somebody who wanted to do something like this?
I'd say, I think my beginning quote was, on the opposite side of fear is that you never know, the biggest journey is waiting for you, right? So it may seem intimidating to just start, but once you start, you're not going to be able to stop. So, and then just education about the rest of the world, and like taking your courses and like learning about the rest of the world and everything around you. There's a giant world out there, and it's full of a lot of different people, a lot of different cultures. And the more we can learn, the more we can have appreciation for other people as well.
Yes. And also, I think, when you visit places like this, you're able to dispel a lot of the prejudices and the stereotypes that you may have of people and places. And you see that they're real people living lives just like you, maybe, a little bit harder, but at the end.
Like a quote that said, basically, other cultures are not your culture doing it wrong, right? It's just maybe a different way of doing it,
Oh, I love that,
Yeah.
Wow, well, thank you so much. This has been so enlightening and absolutely fascinating, and I can't wait to go.
Thanks for having me. Always love to show everybody my pictures and, talk on, so.
Fabulous. Well, thank you all for joining us. We hope you enjoyed today's discussion and came away with new perspectives on our global community. If you'd like to learn more about Leeward's Global Studies program, consider pursuing our academic subject certificate in Global Studies. Through courses that explore international issues, language, and culture, you'll develop the awareness and skills needed to thrive in today's interconnected world. For more information, feel free to contact me at sdscotty@hawaii.edu or my colleague, Dr. Kareem Khan, at khana@hawaii.edu. Until next time, mahalo for watching and take care.